My youngest went to the front for the kids' book without an adult. Yeah, good day for Lange family, right? I love when the kids come up here. We've been doing this last few weeks. They come up, put ornaments on the tree, and my favorite part is the bottom of the tree is decorated in ornaments, right? Someone has to come around later and kind of move them up because no kid is reaching up top here. And it's kind of fitting for what I'm talking about today. We're talking peace, right? The peace pillow is on the chair over there. So we're talking peace, right? And for peace seems to get undervalued during this Advent time. At least it does for me. And I feel like in our heads, we just take peace and it's here, and it's surface level, and it's just we just leave it there, right? Because hope is big, hope is strong, right? It's encouraging. And hope encapsulates the very essence of Christ. Love, we love love. Love is warm, it's comforting, it's powerful. We've all experienced love in our life. And of course, joy. We love joy, right? Joy to the world. We sing joy, we feel joy. Joy is this persistent state of well-being deep in our souls. It's not happiness, it's just something else. It's joy. Joy's great. We love joy. What about peace? Peace, 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 peace. Doesn't matter how you say it, peace. Right? It's docile. It's kind of tranquil. Because, after all, peace is like rest. It's like being quiet, being still, right? We know how to do that. We all probably have this little thing we go to, this particular thing that we can just jump into that brings us peace, right? Think about it in your heads. We may understand why peace is in the Advent season, but again, I feel like we merely keep it surface level. And we understand it, and then we move on. We move right past it. And to be honest, I've always struggled with peace during the Advent time. Because I'm wondering, there has to be something deeper to it. It's got to be deeper. It's not just peace, not a little peace. Because what happens when things go wrong? We immediately run to hope. When things aren't going well, we run to love, joy. But what about peace? When does peace enter the conversation when things aren't going well? Peace is it's the last thing we get to. The last thing we get to, and there has to be more. It has to be deeper. It has to be bigger than this box we put it in. Take peace, put it in a box. It's right there on the shelf. We know where it is. Usually when the kids aren't up here listening to the story, thank you, Michelle, for the story. Great job. But the kids gather up front here, and we sing worship song with the kids. And there's a line from from a song, and I feel like we do this every 3 weeks, right? It's a good one. And the line is, I've got peace like a river in my soul. So if peace is like a river, then it definitely has to be big. Rivers are big. Peace like a river it's found in Scripture, but it's also found in an 1800s hymn written by Horatio Spafford. And here is the first verse of the song. I bet you'll be familiar with it. When peace, like a river, attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. If peace is like a river that's ever flowing, it's carving through the land, it's this powerful entity, and it's taught my soul to cry out, it is well with my soul. When the sorrows are billowing like the sea, peace has to be big and deep and important. Did you know that when Horatio, when he wrote this song, it was after he lost his 4 daughters in a shipwreck in the North Atlantic? He was supposed to be on that boat, but he had to stay in America while his wife and 4 daughters went to England. He found out in a telegram from his wife that said, "Shipwreck all alone." Imagine getting that telegram. And he wrote it into the song. He lost his daughters at sea. Sorrow like the sea is right. So he penned a song, and we still sing it today because of its impact. Because to be able to say in the midst of struggle that it is well with my soul, something is resonating deep within us. It's deep, it's big. So yes, I would say peace, specifically the peace of Jesus, is a big deal. But why do we seem to underestimate the effect it has on our lives? Why are anxieties more prevalent in our lives than peace? Now, I have my own thoughts on peace, but I was curious on what others thought of it. So, whipped out my phone, found 5 buddies of mine, and I texted them. I texted them 2 questions. All my buddies are Jesus followers. They all know him. And none of them are in this room, all right? So don't be looking around the room being like, "Oh, I bet he's guy number 2. I know that guy," right? They're not in this room, so don't look. And I'm keeping their names out of it, so you can't look them up on like Instagram or Facebook or anything, all right? This is all private. So what are the 2 questions? I asked them, what is peace to you, and what is the peace of Jesus? After getting the responses, I quickly realized that I should have sent them the first question and then sent them the second question after I got a response from the first, right? Because some of them may have modified their answers a little bit when they saw the second question. And I'm not accusing them. I got some really honest answers, and I am thankful that they wrote me back, just to be honest. But so here's the response to the first question. What is peace to you? Guy number 1, knowing you are right or on the right track / tomorrow will be better. Guy 2, peace means calm, organized, ordered, put together. Guy 3, a place of contentment is peace. Guy 4, peace to me is a feeling. It is like a hippie frolicking through a field of flowers. Right? There's the honesty. Right? And Guy 5, you see it says asterisk. I'm saving that for later. This guy probably knew where I was going because he saw the second question, and he's a cheater. So I'm holding off his answers till later. But so after looking at the responses, there was nothing wrong with them. Even the hippie, right? Nothing wrong with that. And these should all hit home with us because this is exactly what we kind of put peace into, that box. A feeling or a place where we are in control, and therefore, peace. We have peace. I, too, described it this way myself. I'm a very anxious person when I'm in a situation that I can't control. And maybe when you're in a situation you can't control, you're like me, and you do this yo-yo effect with peace and anxiety and fear. Oh, I'm in peace. Uh-oh, life's going out of control. Oh, no, I'm out of peace. Oh, back in peace because I figured it out. Took back control. Oh, no, I'm back out of control. I'm back out of peace. We really want peace to last forever, but we treat it like a feeling. Peace makes me happy, and I love being happy. So I'm going to do whatever just makes me happy all the time to bring me back to peace. However, Scripture doesn't see it that way. We see peace treated differently than a feeling in the text. In the birth of Jesus, synonymous with this season we're in, this Christmas encounter that we're in, peace is the one thing that is promised in the birth of Jesus. It's not hope. It is not love. It is not joy, but peace. And I know what you're thinking. If your family reads Luke 2 all the time, you're like, wait, hope and love and joy are all over the Luke 2 story of the Christmas encounter. Right? There's even a line that says, I bring you great news of great joy for all the people. And yes, all that stuff is in there. And before you think I've lost my marbles, we need to go before Luke. right, to the actual first part of the Christmas encounter, and it's found in the book of Micah. And which is, guys, that's obviously where you start the Christmas story, right? Anyways, Micah 5, verses 2 through 5. But you, O Bethlehem Ephrathah, who are too little to be among the clans of Judah, from you shall come forth for me one who is to be ruler in Israel, whose coming forth is from of old, from ancient days. Therefore he shall give them up until the time when she who is in labor has given birth. Then the rest of his brothers shall return to the people of Israel. And he shall stand and shepherd his flock in the strength of the Lord, in the majesty of the name of the Lord his God, and they shall dwell secure. For now he shall be great to the ends of the earth, and he shall be their peace. He shall be their peace. I hope that stands out like it did to me when I first read that. They could have used any of the other words that we use during Advent, right? Imagine this. He shall be their hope. Yes. Put it on a poster, put it on the wall. That's awesome. He shall be our hope. And they will know love. Oh, yes, we will know love, the love of God, because of this baby. He shall be their joy. He shall be their this deep happiness that just reaches into us. But no, this prophecy by Micah is about the coming king who's going to be born in Bethlehem, and a town so small that it's not even part of the cities of Judah. And this child is going to be born, and he shall be their peace. So now we got this far. So what is peace? What is it? In this usage, it seems pretty big, right? Seems like a big deal. When he shall be our peace. But our Western minds, we overthink things. We like to distort peace and its real power that it has. So I'm going to ask you, remove all your thoughts on peace. Wipe it from your brain. And let's see what the scriptures say about it. The Greek word for peace is eirene. You see the meanings up there. Peace of mind, a state of tranquility, harmony, safety, prosperity, well-being. The Hebrew word, you might have heard of it before, shalom, means peace, completeness, welfare, or well-being. Just when I was looking at these meanings, it's like, doesn't this reflect the answers given by my friends, right? Peace of mind, contentment, my well-being. It's very common to put peace in those boxes, and there's nothing wrong with them. I mean, it does mean those things. But there is one key difference from the Greek to the Hebrew, and that's the meaning of completeness found in shalom. And that's where I want to dig a little deeper. Because in its usage, shalom is this crazy, it's multifaceted Hebrew word that encompasses a range of meanings related to peace and completeness. It signifies not only the absence of conflict, but is used to describe a harmonious relationship between individuals, between nations, and between God and humanity. To really break down what shalom is, the most basic form is it to be complete or whole. You can actually find this in the Greek too, but you have to go where this eirene originates. The eirene is derived from a verb from which means to join or to make wholes. It's an action word of joining together, something to make it whole. And this root word actually ties the Greek and Hebrew together. And there is a great video done by the Bible Project talking about peace. They did a wonderful job, and I had to share some of the information with you. So this is my attempt to quickly sum up what the completeness of shalom or peace. So many things can be shalom. It can be used to describe a single brick. Think of a wall. A perfect brick. It's perfectly shaped. There's no cracks or blemishes. That can be a shalom thing. It can also be, now, the whole wall. All these bricks. There's no gaps. There's no missing blocks. That wall can be shalom. Shalom refers to something that is complex with lots of pieces that when it's put together is in a state of completeness or wholeness. Right? That wall example. And the core idea is that life is complex. It's full of moving parts, it's full of relationships, it's full of situations, and when any of these are out of alignment or missing, then your shalom, this peace, it breaks down. Your life is no longer whole, and it needs to be restored. And to bring shalom to something, if you were to bring shalom to something, it literally means to make complete or to restore. Here's some examples from the text. 1 Kings, when King Solomon brings shalom to the unfinished temple when he completes it. It is now in shalom. In Exodus, if your donkey damages your neighbor's field, you shalom them by giving them a complete repayment for the loss of the damage, right? A debt has been paid. In Proverbs, the same goes for relationships. To reconcile and heal a broken relationship is to bring shalom to it. Also, when rival kingdoms make shalom, it doesn't just mean that they stop fighting. It means that they start working together for each other's benefits. And it's this state of shalom, which is what all the kings of Israel were supposed to cultivate, but it rarely happened. So when the prophet Micah says, "He shall be their peace," you can also translate that to, "He shall be the one of peace." He will be the true king of Israel who will bring shalom. And Micah is just echoing Isaiah. Isaiah wrote this, "For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. And of the increase of his government and of peace there will be no end." These two prophecies by Micah and Isaiah, they're pointing to a future king and time where God would make a covenant of shalom with the people and make right all the wrongs and restore all that had been broken. Peace is about being restored and made complete. And who does that sound like? Who comes to mind when I say to be restored and make complete? Jesus. That's exactly the story of the Messiah and the redemption we Christians rally behind. We rally behind this message because that's exactly what the apostles did. Paul hammered this idea. They all did. Just read the New Testament. Romans 5. "Therefore, since we have been justified by faith, we have peace with God through our Lord Jesus Christ." Ephesians 2, "For he himself is our peace, who has made us both one and has broken down his flesh, the dividing wall of hostility, by abolishing the law of commandments expressed in the ordinances, that he might create in himself one new man in place of two, so making peace. For in him all the fullness of God was pleased to dwell, and through him to reconcile to himself all things, whether on earth or in heaven, making peace by the blood of his cross." Jesus is our eirene. He is our shalom. He is our peace. He's the action that makes us whole. It is through him that we have been restored to the very foundational idea of peace or shalom. All the examples that we discussed earlier, Jesus did for us, right? He took the broken, unfinished wall of our life and made it brand new, complete, restored. He paid our debt we owed by rebelling against God, just like our donkey did to our neighbor's yard, right? He paid our debt. And most importantly, he took our broken relationship with God and reconciled to such a level that is one of friendship, like a dad to his kids. Because after all, God is our dad, right? It's a new relationship, a new level of relationship. It's a new level of intimacy, like a dad to his kids. All of this is what God did for us. From the announcement of the birth to the empty tomb, God set out to shalom us, to restore us, to make us complete. And this was all a gift. It's Christmas time. We love gifts at this time. This was a gift of God, a gift that we also desperately need to share. Jesus himself wants us to know this peace and receive it. Speaking to the disciples before he was arrested, Jesus says, I have said these things to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world. And this is where I think we miss an opportunity for peace in our lives. We're looking at the world. We're not looking at the right thing. Jesus says, in me you have peace, which is echoing Micah. He shall be our peace. In me you have peace. I'm that guy. I'm that baby that you will have peace. And notice that he says this peace thing before he says the pain and sorrow, tribulation thing. He's signaling to the disciples, those who are listening, hey, where's your focus? All this peace talk is important. Remember first the peace. Where's the peace? The peace I'm giving you. Keep your focus on it. While you're going through anxieties and fears and struggles, my peace can sustain you, can carry you. Jesus demonstrates his peace, this very peace, when he's walking on the water. When is he walking on the water? During a storm. The storm doesn't stop until he gets back in the boat. The disciples didn't have the same focus. They were freaking out. They were upset. What's happening? They were focused on the storms and what happened to them, especially the guy that went out to Jesus. He began to sink. Jesus' response to this was, where's your trust? Why are you doubting? But how often do we so quickly get wrapped up in our fears, in our anxieties, and struggles of the world, and we take our focus off of Jesus? We go to a place that I am dubbing, it's not official, the big truck theory, right? I just made this up, right? If it's out there, it's not my intention to steal it. But I've shared before that I have high anxiety in traffic. It really gets me going, all right? For some reason, and it happens all the time, I find myself directly, and I mean directly, behind large semi-trucks. This may be a picture that I may have taken while driving on the road just the other day. And I'm always behind them. On the road, traffic lights. It just seems that way. I'm probably not, but it does seem. And thinking about it, I'm like, why am I so upset about a truck in front of me? And thinking about it, it's because I can't see around them. It bugs me. I don't know what's in front of them. I don't know what's happening. Why is there traffic? Is there an accident? Is there someone pulled over way up ahead? So I can kind of know, traffic's that's going to let up in about a mile. All right, cool. All these other cars are zipping by me. I'm in the middle lane, and so what's going on? I don't know what's happening in front of me. It panics me. And it especially gets me when I'm at a light or a turn signal. When you're behind a truck, you can't see the light until you're in the intersection. So you're committing. I'm a rule follower, so I don't want to run a red light. Is it yellow? Is it red? Is it blinking? Is the guy going to make the turn? This is my life. Don't drive with me. I'm behind a semi-truck, right? And look, I get it. It's silly. There's a lot of bigger things to worry about than this. But when I look deeper at it, it's really no different than any of the other fears or anxieties we have. Because a lot of our fears have to deal with the future, our jobs, politics, our family, school, traffic. When we spend time focusing on the big truck in front of us, we start to worry about our future. And we forget that our future is actually being held by Christ. That's where our future is. Here's another example. Earlier this year, I was watching my Niners play. It was against our rivals up north. I'm not going to say their name. Sometimes, I'm not going to look at my wife when I tell this story, sometimes I can get a little carried away while watching my team play. The refs were trying to screw up the game. My voice may have been raised towards the TV, and I could have uttered a phrase that was very similar to this one. This game is over. We lost. It's done. We're not catching any breaks, right? Nothing's going our way. It's over. It's done. Then the game ends. Guess who won? The Niners. Who looks silly now? This guy. I was overreacting. I was focusing on the now instead of letting the game play out and trusting that the outcome would come up with a win for me and my team. Here's the kicker. I actually watched this game again. The NFL likes to replay games that are good. And I turned it on again. There's a whole other problem with that, right? We can talk about that later. Yeah. But the next time I watched it, I was calm. There was this sense of joy, this weird peace, because I knew the outcome of the game. I watched it differently. It doesn't matter that guy just dropped the ball. That's not a penalty, ref, right? It doesn't matter. I didn't say those things. I knew the outcome of all the troubles that pop up in the game, refs included, we would come out victorious. This is that peace that Jesus is referring to when he says that he has overcome the world. And I'm paraphrasing here, but he says something like, guys, there is a peace, there is a restoration, a wholeness found in my kingdom. I've given it to you. And look to me in how to live it. And live in this peace. Live in it. There will be trouble, but keep your focus on me. See through your trouble. You gotta see through the big truck, past the referees. See past that to the hope, love, joy, and peace that exist. Isn't that great? Isn't that great that's available for us? God so loved the world that he gave his only son, giving us something that we all so desperately need, peace. We all want it. We need peace. He shall be our peace. We want to be made whole, forgiven, restored to God. That's the cry of the heart. The peace of Jesus is so much more than a feeling or a thought. It's an actual gift given by God. When we put our focus on Jesus, look how our way of thinking changes. Question number 2. What is the peace of Jesus? Knowing that the outcome of your future may not be what you want, but will be what you need. It's like a hug from a parent or a grandparent as a kid when you need help or are scared. It's truly believing that I have everything I need because I believe Jesus has given that to me and has a plan for me. Guy 4, a gift that he gives us that lasts for eternity. Yes. It is not something that we can get while we're in this world. And Guy 5, asterisk boy. All right? At first, I disagreed with buddy number 4. Because you can have Christ's peace in this lifetime because of the Holy Spirit. It's Romans 8. But, as I thought about it more, he's actually spot on if he means that we can't have real peace when we live according to the world. Peace is something that we cannot get if we focus on the world. Even as believers, even myself, we get fixated on the world. Right? The angel that came to the shepherds, the first thing he said was, "Fear not, I have good news of this kingdom that's coming, that God is doing. Don't be afraid, because God's kingdom is here now. It's being restored now because we are restored people. His peace is available now, and we can be fully restored now because of Christ." If we put our attention on God, fix our minds on the things of Him, and we're reminding ourselves of His goodness, the result is a peace that is beyond our understanding. Because otherwise, it's going to be on anxiety and anger. Because that is what the world is offering as an alternative. Just open your phone, go online, turn on the TV, listen to a podcast. We are constantly bombarded with it on a daily basis. If we are paying attention constantly to anxiety and anger, then we are cashing in this gift of peace that was given to us. We're saying, take this. I don't want this peace, right? I'm focusing right here in front of me. That's more important. Your peace can go over here. I've done it too. I popped off at a football game. I yelled at a TV, something that can't talk back. We should not cash in our gift of peace. We have to trust the story. Jesus routinely calls on the disciples saying, where is your faith? I love taking faith and replacing it with trust because it's the same word. It means the same thing. Hits home when it says, where is your trust? John 14, peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid. We need to trust the peace that exists in Jesus. Now, we've gotten to the point you've all been waiting for. I left out one response from one of my friends. And the reason I did that is because I think he nailed it. And I'm not surprised, because his buddy, he definitely changed his answer. He sent me one thing. A couple minutes later, I got another thing. He said, I changed my answers. And I accepted it as a fair judge, I guess, for the game. It wasn't a game. Because I think he knows where I was going. Because I'm such a big trust God story type of guy, right? He might have read this little thing that has my name on it. I don't know if they're back here. But this is what he said. What is peace to you? Peace is knowing you are part of a larger story and it's not about yourself. What is the peace of Jesus? Knowing it's his story and it's about his kingdom. Don't cash in your gift of peace. Trust that the peace of Jesus is real. It's given to us all. When times get hard, and they will, Jesus said they will, keep your focus on him. Keep your mind on the goodness of God. Jesus says, come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. We don't have to worry. We don't have to worry about our life. And yes, I do realize that is a giant umbrella of things. But it includes a lot of things. It includes things like your finances. It includes things like your kids. It includes things like your future. It includes everything. What it doesn't say don't do what you need to do to accomplish what it means to raise your kids. It doesn't say don't make smart, judicious financial choices in your life, but after you do, don't worry about them. I don't know if this is something you want for your life. But what I want for my life, I want people to look at me and say, man, there is something different about the way that Rian Lange guy lives. There's something different about the way he goes about life. I am in no way good at this. I have a lot of work to do. But that place of peace, the one Jesus is talking about, the one he was born for us, that very peace that God has made for us, sounds a whole lot better than the place of anxiety, fear, or anger. Jesus was announced as our peace, and it's very much available to us. And it's through faith and not our works we have been saved through Christ alone. By his death and resurrection, we have been made completely restored and made whole. He shall be our peace. Just let that soak in for a second. And don't cash it in for the problems we are all going to face. Rather, lean into it. See through that big truck in your life and focus on Jesus. Because after all, we are made and activated to live a life that rests in the peace that was born for us. In a peace that isn't just a feeling, but a peace that has us restored and made whole, made complete. Because when things get hard, when we're anxious, when we're fearful, when we're sorrowful, we can still cry out in the midst of our struggles, and we can say the phrase, "It is well with my soul." Let's pray.